I think that most women are self-deprecating while French women are self-appreciating. We constantly say things like, I am the worst mom, I am the worst person, I am the worst at this, XYZ. While French women can say like the most basic comments, they can crack like the worst ever dad jokes, but we find it completely charming and endearing. A few months ago, I was watching a clip from like one of the recent Chanel runway shows, and there was this like voiceover thing, and I have no idea who was speaking, if it was Coco Chanel herself or some random Parisian they picked up off the street, but she was saying in this romantic way how much she loved blueberries and all this stuff, and I was like, this is just so French. I just love this. That made me think about how this is not a state secret. French women are just assured of who they are and what they like because they are eternal students of their own style and preferences. So in today's video, I am sharing how you can master this elusive art as well. Hi, I'm Lauren. Welcome to my channel. So I think the problem with us American women and a lot of women around the world is that we have grown up thinking that our preferences and our own likes don't matter and that they are actually wrong. We spend our lives erasing what we like to try to fit some mold of what we're supposed to be. And so once you're my age or even way older than me, we kind of forget what we like and we forget to be intentional about what we like in our own lives because we've spent so long just ignoring ourselves. And so we have so much baggage about like not knowing what our preferences are because we are just spending so much time fixing ourselves. And so there's all of these million and billion dollar industries riding on us thinking we need some things to fix ourselves. That's why we have Instagram ads for like literally everything that you can think of, and all of these commercials and influencers telling us to buy things. Once we buy these things that they tell us to buy, we'll be right, we'll fix ourselves, and then we'll be palatable. Most women approach life in this way of like, I'm the worst. I have no style. I don't know anything. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to be this. And French women alternately have this very casual confidence and this kind of, I think what we are attracted to about them is that they kind of seem to know something that other women don't. And really what this is just this self-assuredness of being in touch with one's own preferences, and this reads as taste and class and sophistication. We are so often belittled by others and by advertisements and media that we try to hide our own preferences when really our preferences are what makes us tasteful and classy and sophisticated. We spend so much time tampering down these parts of ourselves, the way that we speak, the way that we look, paying for extremely expensive cosmetic procedures, or all of these other things that we think that we need because we have been so systematically belittled over time, over our lives, whether that's by our families, at school, or in any social situations. And we feel like we have a huge dissonance between who we are in our hearts and what we feel in our guts and how we're presenting, that we actually tend to just completely override and ignore any preferences that come up during our day and our day-to-day things. So to regain this secret confidence in ourselves, which makes us be who we are, we need to be an eternal student of our own style. This means not listening to other voices and other people telling us what to wear, what to do, what to eat, all of this stuff, and just listen to actually what we're drawn to. And this can really be a practice because many of us are so out of touch with doing this. But what I started doing years ago is thinking about life as a catalog. So, you know, you're thumbing through a catalog, and when you're a kid, like you're circling the things that you like. Imagine all of life is like that. All of life is a catalog, and you are going to choose what you like. This can be a really fun and intense project to take on in the beginning if you want to get to know yourself more and remember what your actual preferences are. So as you go about your day, look at life as a catalog and pretend that you're circling things that you like. And the more that you do this, the more you'll start to resonate with what you actually truly like you really feel this resonance with it, versus what maybe you've grown to think that you like, or that you've been telling yourself that you like for so long because one of your friends likes it or your sisters like it or someone like that. This helps you really get to know your own style, and that is what brings you a completely different level of class and sophistication, and it really sets you apart. So do this for clothes. When you're looking in actual catalogs, or when you're looking online for clothes, or when you're in a store, look at what you actually truly like. You don't have to buy it, but just imagine drawing a circle around it. And then over time, you will maybe notice patterns about colors or fits or fabrics that you are just inherently drawn to. It doesn't matter what it is, just see what makes you you. You can do the same thing with foods in the supermarket. Maybe you draw a circle around the pears because you always buy apples. You think that you are someone who likes to eat apples, but you're like, I actually love pears. Same thing with houses and decor. If you're driving down the street and you see a house that you just love and it really makes you feel amazing, just pretend to like draw a circle around it and think, that is a style that I like. That is an architectural choice that I like. And then over the years, maybe you start building those things into your own house and your own home. With style, make sure that you're really paying attention to what you like when you go into stores to buy, new throw pillows, new throw blankets, anything, bedding, anything for your home. Really take a moment to see what you truly like. And again, that practice of doing it over time when you're not actually buying things will set you up for success, so that when it is time to buy something and make a purchase of something that you're bringing into your physical space, it becomes a curated space of stuff that you actually like, because you've gotten to know your own true style and what really lights you up, rather than always just going for the thing that, is kind of trendy right now, or like it looks cute, but it's not really you. So I'll give you some examples just to help you start thinking of things like this. I love images of like a farmhouse style, like a big farmhouse sink, and like the whole vibe. I love seeing other people like in those spaces. I love looking at it, but it's not me. And so for a long time I was buying like little farmhouse type items, and then I realized, after some time, like, why am I buying this? This isn't actually me at all. But I wouldn't have realized that unless I had started paying attention to what I do like instead. Another example is that I always felt like I should wear dresses. Like after I was done having kids and kind of, had more time and space for my own style, dresses were like the ultimate thing in my mind, that like I need to wear dresses. They look so cute. They're so pretty. There's so many choices. But really when it's come down to it, I do like a dress at times, of course, like there are occasions. But in my day-to-day life, I prefer, more casual, cozy, grandeur clothes, like any kind of cotton or linen, a nice sweater, a really good quality like white t-shirt, a button-up like I'm wearing right now, linen shorts, really nice pants, anything like that. I tend to wear things like that, and I've just discovered that those are more me because of the lifestyle that I prefer, and so that has been a big learning moment for me, and I feel more confident in my clothes because of that. And with food too, even I had always like had this idea in my head of what I should be eating, like these super, glamorous, green juices and salads and stuff like that. And what I found over time when I really paid attention to my own preferences was that I do love fruits and vegetables more than almost anything, but I prefer to maybe eat them cooked or in a different kind of salad or something different than what I was eating before. And I actually like to prioritize eating a lot of like fresh bread and butter and things like that, because those are the things that make me feel good and that make me feel energized and amazing, instead of listening to like all the messages of things that I should be enjoying and eating and wanting. And even with relationships and friendships, I think that like I've always had this idea in my head that I should be friends with people that have similar interests, or like that are very much like me. And what I have found over time through lots of different friendships is that what I personally value is friends, like I don't care who they are or what they like, I care most about their conversational style. So I would rather have a friend who is nothing like me, but that we have like great, really nicely flowing conversations, than being friends with people who are, have very similar interests to who that I really click with because we have stuff in common. So that's been a big realization for me, and that's helped just all aspects of my life be better, because I'm really prioritizing things that I personally prefer instead of what I think I should prefer. The final point I want to share is that I think there's a really beautiful and intricate balance between current you and historical you. We want to do two things. We want to first make sure that we're honoring who we are now, because you have been through a lot in your life. Whatever age you are, you've been through so many things, and there is like this kind of like, you know, the butterfly feeling like she can be herself now and like be you in all that you are now. And I think that's so important to honor who you are now. But sometimes I think we get so lost in that, like, oh, this is who I am now, so I should stop liking the things that I liked when I was 20 or 15 or 25 or whatever. So I think that there is an important piece too of balancing and even remembering like the historical you. What have you always loved? What have you always kind of been drawn to before the world jaded you? Think about things that the historical you has always loved. This might be foods, this might be clothes, it could be patterns, it could be fabrics, it could be decor styles, it could be travel destinations that you've always loved, but that you've kind of been like, you know, no, that's not really me anymore. Maybe it is. I'm just saying, like, reconsider that historical classic part of you, because I think that classic preference of yours that you've carried with you throughout your life can sometimes bring something to that new you and like who you are now. And sometimes I think we tend to get lost in being so ourselves and so unique that we almost forget anything that we liked as, you know, maybe children or young adults that is now considered cliche. We want to be individuals. We want to make ourselves exactly who we are. So sometimes in this quest to be like the new us, the perfect us, like the modern us who's shed all these expectations, we shy away from these historical things and these cliche things. So for example, when I was younger, probably a teenager, I remember smelling Chanel No. 5 perfume for the first time. And I knew it was like the most, you know, well-known perfume in the world. But I remember smelling it and I truly resonated with the smell of it. Like, I just liked it. I didn't need context for it. I just like that smell. It does have an older, like, classic smell. It reminds me of like my grandmother's era of perfumes, but I always loved it. So then as I grew up and got into my 20s and then now my 30s, of course, I tended to kind of shake off anything that felt too cliche. Like, oh, that's too common. Like, no, I have to have something super niche. I have to have something super me. I have to find like the most customized thing because I need to be honoring my own preferences. But what I found is that in that quest, I would almost sometimes even ignore things that other people liked because I didn't feel like those could be part of the authentic me, if that makes sense. So later on, a few years ago, when I just wanted like a really go-to perfume for kind of the everyday, I was like, you know what? And I was pregnant at the time, so I was feeling a little bit sassy. I was pregnant with my third child. I was like, you know what? I actually want Chanel No. 5 perfume. I know it's so cliche. I know it's like the perfume that everybody has, but I just like that smell. I have other niche ones. I have other ones that are like small batch handmade perfumes, and I like those, you know, on occasions. But what I found is that I actually liked that clichéness of Chanel No. 5 because it's cliche, because it's classic. Like, I love that scent, and wearing that every day does still feel individual and true to me and my own preferences, even though it is very well known. And you know what I mean? There's a balance there. Another super well-known perfume, I might not resonate with it the same way at all. I might think like, no, you know, I have to have my own thing. But that specifically, I just feel like there's this part of the historical you and being okay with what you like, whether it's something that everybody else is obsessed with or you're the only one who knows about it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you'll subscribe. And just remember that, like, your own preferences and your own just knowing yourself and your own style and being so completely confident in that, it is a journey that takes time if you're just starting this, but that is what ultimately reads in French women as taste and class, and that is what we perceive. And that's why if a French woman says she likes literally anything, we're like, oh yeah, that's it, you're right, that's classy, yep. It's not anything about that item, it's the confidence with which she says it. And more than confidence, it's this casual comfort in herself. So try to curate that in yourself as well, because it is really a life that feels so good to live when you're comfortable in your own skin. All right, I will see you same time next week. Bye.